Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Queens of Nerddom. This is our last day of Phoenix Fan Fusion. And I can't, but are you crying? What was that?
It's a tear.
Oh,
Like
a
it's
single
over
tear.
already.
I know the 3 days went by so fast. I mean, lightning fast.
Hmm.
I guess because we were like having so much fun. I guess we were. but So today, Willie and I decided to go in some civilian clothes, and
Best decision.
best decision ever.
The best decision.
Yes, I was actually cold today a couple of times, which I was blissfully happy for. Again, I have to give hats off to the people who cosplay the entire time. Those professionals that go out there and and they never once complain ever, never ever. So just shows you like truly like how professional that they are.
Hmm.
Um, Today kind of had a little bit more of a like kind of a low key feel. I feel like the it was a little bit calmer today, didn't you think? Kind of like walking around, like I mean, there was still like some hustling and people trying to get some like last minute shopping and stuff
Yeah.
in. I know, we definitely were like
Yeah.
today. Like our mood was like, gotta shop, gotta get some stuff, gotta get some stuff for my kids,
Yeah.
my
We
spouses.
messed around, and I don't know if it was more we messed around and waited to get stuff, or we just knew vendors usually throw in discounts and deals on
Yeah,
the last day of the con because they don't want to have to put more stuff into their car than they came with. You know what I'm saying? Or however they
yeah,
brought it. So we were trying to game the system a little bit, but then that caused us to miss out on a couple of things. I know I wanted a specific print for uh you'll see there's a brand of comics, Stranger Comics, and they have an awesome story that spans over a few graphic novels. And he's like, "Hey, we'll throw all this stuff in. You get this stuff. Like, you buy the thing. I'll throw in some comics. We'll get it signed by the writer and illustrator and all that stuff. And you get to choose a piece of artwork." And there's this one piece of artwork that just stood out, and it was like
it was really pretty.
beautifully done.
Yeah.
He said it's on the website, so if I can find it on the website, I'll bring it up on the screen when we post the video so you can
Mhm.
see it. But it was just like, I want that one.
Yeah.
It's just like, guess what? It's no more. Like we sold out most of that in day one. I'm just like, I guess that just opened my eyes to when it comes to these cons. Like there are people who look at it and it's like, do I want to wait? Do I want a chance waiting to day three to try to get like an extra 15% off this thing? Or do I want to for sure know I have it?
Right. That's yeah, definitely a good takeaway from that is yeah, I
Yeah, like
agree.
not everybody is thinking thrifty like me. These guys make money for a reason, right?
Right.
They're just like, day one of the con, like of course there's no discounts. Like, bro, we got 2 more days and people are just, I'm willing to pay full price for that. And I'm just like, I'll wait you out till Sunday. Then you have no choice but to give me oh,
Oh,
it's gone.
you.
Oh, it's gone. There are people willing to pay the full price. I see. So note to self, if you see something at a con and you really like it and it speaks to you, get it. Because if you keep playing that game, like, I'll just wait, you'll just be empty handed. But there was a different print that I got that is equally as not, I would say not as awesome, but the artwork is just as beautiful. I'll say that.
It was definitely that was one of the ones that caught my eye. Definitely the one that you picked.
Hmm.
It's beautiful. I mean, just the the ability of the artist to kind of like capture things and just make it seem like so lifelike. I really like the one that you picked.
Hmm.
Um some of my shopping that I did today is
Oh,
I really I really got into man, the 3D printing stuff that
hmm,
people do now is just amazes me,
yeah,
right? I mean, and after talking to like one of the vendors, I mean, he's like, "Oh, this is just the stuff that sells, but I have a lot more other things that I do." And I was like, "You do? Like what?" So I went to their website and looked at it, but I ended up buying my kids these little 3D printed dragons that
hmm,
are like very articulate and they have wings that move and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if I were a kid, I would love this toy. And yeah, they said it's pretty durable, so I will report back. If,
with the mom test,
yeah,
yeah.
gonna my was mom test is going to be a Zeke test. Let's see if
Yeah.
Zeke breaks this. He may. I'm predicting.
Right.
But they said it's it's durable. Sorry, we'll see because they had a I think it was a 4 and a 6-year-old. She said, and she's like, they're still the toys are still good. And I was like, okay.
Hmm.
Um. So I got those. And I ended up getting myself one and Eric one as well because I was like, these are just so cool.
Yeah.
And it's neat because a lot of times at the 3D vendors area, they have stuff. Their 3D printers actually running.
Yeah.
So you can see how like stuff is being made. And I actually kind of got sucked into that one. Well, he's like, are you done? Yeah, I'm sorry. I was watching. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Were you kind of mesmerized by that?
Yeah. Like I
Like the
was
printer?
just printing that stuff out,
Mhm.
and you see how small the printer is, and like just I thought people were painting these things, but like the different color rising you can get and all that
Mhm.
stuff, and how you can have your printer like blend two of them together to make a color instead of just having one color. So like the potential to create with that thing is just, I would say, almost limitless. The only thing that's limiting is like your creativity or finding somebody with the ability to create exactly what it is
Yeah.
that you want to make.
I mean, it's just and then the panel that we went to today about kind of like doing like custom
Yeah.
figures and like there's a guy up there who does like custom dioramas and I think they all light up and everything and
Hmm.
there's another guy up there who uses a 3D printer to like make custom heads for like kind of like the 1/18 scale figures and stuff.
Hmm.
And then of course our buddy Jedi is talking about his custom work that he does on action figures, and it's really cool to hear him talk about what he does and everything.
Hmm.
Because he's our bestie, but it's kind of cool to like hear him kind of geek out. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I did this," and I'm like, "Oh, look at you, that's so awesome." And there's that other girl who does like the Funko Pop, but she adds like a
Yeah, she like repaints
flare.
them and
Yeah,
puts the glitter on them and
yeah,
like enhances them in a sense. Yeah.
yeah. It was really cool. Like she had one up there with Thanos, but so she changed it to where Thanos like had the Infinity Gauntlet, but she ended up like putting jewels on it and everything, and she just does like all sorts of cool stuff to like Funko Pop stuff.
Hmm.
And then the moderator is really big into like customizing Lego characters.
Yeah.
So apparently he doesn't like making Xena ones anymore. He talked about that a lot. I guess that was so funny.
He's just like, after my seventh Xena, like I was just like, I hate
He's like,
Lucy Lawless.
Lucy loves the passion. And we're like, whoa. Like, I like Xena. She's awesome. But so that was really cool to watch that panel. What else did we do? Went shopping, stopped by the RPG place again.
Hmm.
Saw some other people
Playing
playing
the
Laughing
Laughing
Moon.
Moon, yeah, and they
Yeah,
were having a blast.
they were having
Their
so
group
much
looked
fun.
way better, and we're having way more fun than our group from yesterday.
I was partial. I was partial to them. Just,
Yeah,
there were some goths in there, and I was like, "Oh, my people!"
yeah, there were.
I know.
She's like, oh, that's why she's having a blast. I know them.
Hmm. Those are
I
my
don't know
people.
them, but I know
I
them.
know them. I'm just like,
Have a blast, Nicole.
I see you.
You earned this, Nicole.
Yeah, she looked like she was having a lot of fun too. So
Mm.
looks like just as many other people like enjoy like the Laughing Moon RPG too. So
Mhm.
um yeah, we got what was the Wild Bill soda, that pure sugarcane soda.
Yeah,
That was pretty good. I like that stuff a lot. And we got their mugs too.
yeah,
The little
yeah. Got mugs for the fam.
yeah. Yeah. We had to get them some mugs, little souvenir stuff. And I have to admit that at one point, we're kind of walking around and everything, and I think we were still shopping for something for uh, was it LJ? I
Yeah,
think LJ. We still had to get something for
right,
LJ,
right.
and we were going down the escalator, kind of turned and looked at Willie. I was like, I'm tired. I'm like, "Dude." I'm like, I'm a little tired.
Yeah,
You're like, you are? I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I'll get a coffee. I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. And then you end up going like, yeah, we should get coffee.
Oh, we were just rolling up the escalator. We're just looking because there's a coffee spot there, and normally we get the coffee in the morning, but like this was a chill, relax. Like we're not in a rush to make it anywhere. We have like no real interviews to have to do. We front loaded our schedule so hard for day one and day two to where day three is just like it could just be a day we can just chill and absorb the con as like a fan, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. The only interview I missed out was Sarah. I meant to go back and talk to Sarah. And by the time I realized it was almost 5 o'clock, and I was like,
Yeah.
fails. Sarah, if you're watching this, I'm very sorry, girl. I'm going to hit you up and we'll reattack
We'll
that.
reattack.
Yeah, we'll reattack that. I apologize. I realize I'm like, it's like, what, almost 5.
Yeah.
It was like 10 till, and I was like, oh, I feel so bad.
But no, like I was feeling it too, and like we talked about earlier, is like day one, just like we were like on adrenaline, showing up, seeing everything, trying to talk to as many people as possible. Like it was like we were just trying to get so much out of day one.
Yeah.
And I think foolishly we were like overexert. Like we could have easily just spaced all this energy out.
Yeah. I should have paced myself.
Yeah. So like obviously day one, if you saw the wrap up, like we went to the con, came back, ate, then went back for the body paint thing that ended
Right.
at about 11.
Yeah.
Right. So then come back and then do the wrap up, and it was going on 1, 2 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
You know, do that, kind of talk about what we're gonna do day two, go to sleep, then you wake up with that lack of sleep. And then just side note, the Airbnb here, the AC just doesn't work. So
Yeah.
you're not really sleeping. You're not getting good sleep. Like you'll probably be asleep, but it's kind of restless because your body's like, it's fucking hot in here.
So why are you doing this to me? He's like, I'm sorry.
Right. So I'm trying.
So sorry.
I'm still trying. But then you get up, start day two, and it feels like you're just starting the day with a deficit of energy. Like, you just energy that you're missing. But you go all out again for day two because you're trying to get as much stuff in. And we got some solid interviews. We did some gaming.
Mhm.
We did we went and waited in that line, got the soda for the first time. It was a lot of stuff we did on day two as well.
Yeah.
And then, we come back, do the wrap up,
Yeah.
talk about day three, and then you just walk out the day three just with 2 days of deficit of energy. You're just, oh my God.
Like,
So like in your head, this should be an easy day. We're not doing, but your body's just like, I'm a cash in. Yeah.
excuse
I'm cashing this 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 bill. You owe me this energy. I'm cashing this shit in.
right.
Yeah. So it hit us at the same time, I think.
Yeah. And by no means are we complaining,
Oh
because
no,
it
no,
was
no.
just so much fun. Absolutely so much fun. Yeah. But yeah, I think hindsight, I think I probably would have probably paced ourselves next time. Like, all right, we got time. It's good to kind of attack and get the business part done, and then take a little bit of time for ourselves. But
Mhm.
don't regret a single thing. I even was talking to Erica from Comic Care today, and just trying to let people know that I appreciated them. I told Jedi too, really appreciated people being so welcoming to both of us.
Mhm.
Kind of really just puts you at ease, because even though we both lived here, we don't currently live here.
Right.
And we're going and meeting a lot of people that we don't know. And honestly, I mean, everybody I met, I'm just like, I feel like I feel like I've known you forever. I'm like, gosh, you're so nice, and
Right.
we get along, and dare I say, I think it's that common thread of like being a nerd, or just having something like that to share with somebody that I feel it makes a difference, don't you? Like, I feel like it makes a difference when you share that stuff.
Well, it goes back to you're interested in something that I'm interested in,
What?
or you're,
Yeah.
or they notice they're seeing us like stepping into our first con and really embracing it, and they're just like they see them stepping into their first con,
Mm-hmm.
and looking at us like, oh, I remember how that feels. Let me foster that,
Right. Right.
because
Right.
maybe they had a positive interaction when they did it,
Hmm.
or a positive experience, or
Right.
maybe a negative one. And they're like, I don't want that to be what they experienced. So
Right.
they just fully, embrace us like, hey, come in.
Yeah.
You're one, like, let me
Welcome.
show you all the great things that our community
Right.
does, like how friendly we are, how inviting we are. Because again, this is my first con, but you hear stories about gatekeeping, like people like, oh, this your first one, you're not a cosplayer, you're not that, like you're not really, a whole thing. But I think times have changed,
Yeah.
and that community is a lot more welcoming. So like if you have the smallest inkling of any interest, like, hey, like you, well, 3D printer, what? My man's just like, let me tell you what you need, how you need it, so you're not just going in there blind buying a 3D printer that's like
Yeah.
way over what you need,
Right.
or you're underselling yourself and get one that's not going to do what you think it does. Because
Yeah.
people could have been like, oh no, Google it and do your research,
Yeah. And
but you didn't get that.
no, I totally forgot about that. Thanks for bringing that
Yeah.
up. Like after Jedi's panel about the action figures, I saw Jared, and I was like, oh, Jared, hey, come here for a second. I need to talk. Can I ask you some questions about 3D printer? And he's like, yeah. So I started talking to him, letting him know, like, hey, what are you going to use it for? What do you want to use? And I was like, there's different stuff you can use. He's like,
Mhm.
oh, he's like, yeah. He's getting really into it, and he's showing me like pictures of stuff that he's made and telling us his ideas of things he's going to use. And finally, he's like, you know what? Here's my card. He's like, has his email and has his phone number. And he's like, shoot me an email, call me, or whatever. Yeah. Talk to you and your husband. Yeah. You get the 3D printer, and yeah, I'll talk you guys through it. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. And that was the biggest thing, like you're getting at. Don't make the same mistakes I did. I'll show you what I did.
Yeah.
And that way you can just kind of grow. And it's kind of the same thing that you and Black do.
Mhm.
Like at DFPN, like, hey, we made these mistakes when we first started. Like, let me help you out, and you don't have to,
Right.
yeah, reinvent the wheel, if you will. So again, just another person that, you ask them, for their help or opinion, and man, they're like all in, you
Yeah.
know? So yeah, that was our third and final day. What is your, you want to go with the best memory? Or you want a best, what do you want?
Well, we kind of talked about, like, I don't think there's a. I think the best part of day 3 is not wearing a costume. if I could be completely honest, uh, like I said, in
Agree.
yeah, in part, in our the day 2 wrap up, like the the menu of costumes that I brought were like very poor taste. It was a one out of 5. Do not recommend. You know what I'm saying? But the crazy part is, I'm complaining about my costumes when there are people wearing way hotter, way more, you know,
Yeah.
and they're doing fine. So I guess I just got to build the tolerance up for it. Um, Shout out to the convention center that kept the AC, ridiculously cold to keep people going. And they also had like cosplay medics. I don't know if you've seen them walking around. They would have the sign saying cosplay medic. So in case anybody was like overheating or anything, or
No, I
like
didn't
hurt
see
themselves,
that.
like they had the little
Oh,
utility belts.
that's
But they were
smart.
also in cosplay as well, so it was just they would
Oh,
have the belt with all the
yeah,
first aid stuff. So
that's smart.
so it's they're watching out. Obviously, it's not their first rodeo. So unfortunately, when you see stuff like that, like in the past, something probably happened for them to start utilizing people to do
Right.
that. But I thought that was cool. And then a part of me is just like, what if these are like real EMTs, just who are also in the community? They're just like, I'll volunteer on
Right.
my off time to come and just,
Mhm.
stand watch in case anything happens, while in costume. So I thought that was cool. But most definitely, just being able to wear some comfortable shoes to walk in, some shorts, a short sleeve shirt. Shout out to Comic Care for the drip.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it was that was the best part of the day, and just going as a fan, not having to worry about taking the phone out, getting microphones and all that other stuff, but just going and just
Right.
embracing and absorbing
Yeah,
the Comic Con as a fan.
I agree. think my favorite part of today was probably talking to that guy about the 3D printing and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Real quick.
Well, just
as the panel is going on, somebody mentions 3D printing. She grabs her phone, and I'm just like, she's about to go to Amazon and look at 3D printers. And sure enough, like I just happened to look over, and she's just scrolling, looking at 3D printers, and I'm just like, just go buy that one, buy both of those, get them all. Yeah, just leave me alone.
I'm just looking.
What's the difference between these two? This one just does bears. This one just does castles.
So I was like, so you mean I have to buy a new 3D printer for every thing I want to make?
Buy both.
Oh, it's so expensive. Gosh. But I think to trip wrap up thoughts.
Yeah.
So this was such an amazing trip. Definitely want to do it again, and definitely like we were already freaking looking at the stuff that's where we're at in Virginia. So we're finding that looks like Richmond, where I live, is kind of like the epicenter of nerdy stuff, and there's look like one trying to open up in Norfolk. So we're super excited about that. So we're definitely going to think about trying to plan stuff and network with people that are on our neck of the woods. And yeah, I this was such a great experience. Like I was telling Jedi on the phone today, I'm like, this surpassed my expectations, not just with the size, but the people. Like, I mean, hanging out with like you and Jedi all weekend was just an absolute blast.
Yep.
And definitely memories that I will cherish, and it just amazing time. Like I highly recommend going to like some sort of like Comic-Con or something like with your friends. Like you definitely won't regret it.
Yeah. And if it's like if you're like hesitant and it's a 3-day, I would just say, like if it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday or whatever, just go on that Saturday where like the pitch of, because like the Friday was kind of light because people are at work. Not all the heavy hitters were out. Saturday is like prime Comic-Con.
That was the day.
Yeah.
Was Saturday. Yeah.
And then Sunday you can kind of sense, it's more of a hey, this is things are winding down.
Right.
So it's like the ramp up, the peak, and then the ramp down on Saturday. So if you're gonna try to pick one day for a con, try to get that day that's in the middle.
Yeah.
If you want like the full exposure, because over here that's when the cosplayers went all out.
Right.
A lot of the panels were, it's peak. But yeah, you just got it. Like just get one day out of a 3-day pass and just see for yourself.
Yeah. And it's family friendly too. Like there's people with like little babies there. I mean, it's definitely like they have it separated to where like the family friendly stuff is kind of like located in like more of the adult things, or kind of like on their own areas and stuff. And I never really noticed people like, oh, watch your kid. It's definitely, I mean, you saw like, preteens and teenagers, and, you saw, people that are probably old enough to be my parents out there like cosplaying. Like, I really like that lady that was in Jurassic Park, one that was Alan Grant, and the other one.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
And she's walking around holding a little like stuff like raptor baby, and I was like, I walked past and I was like, hey. And she's like, oh, it's awesome. It's so cool. And that's another thing too I thought was really cool, is that the anybody who cosplays, like, hey, can I take a picture with you? Yeah. And they love it.
That makes their day.
It really
I feel
does.
like it makes their, because they put all that effort into and somebody's like, I want to remember this moment.
Right.
So let me take your picture.
Yeah. And they like, I thought it was really cool. That guy was, I have a picture of it on our page the day I was playing Cloud.
Yeah.
Man, as soon as I saw him walking, I was like, Willie. So, I mean, his sword was impressive. Like the
Right.
whole costume was just so impressive.
Hmm.
So, yeah. So if you go and you're new to it, don't be shy. Like if you see somebody, in a cosplay outfit and you think it's really cool, just be like, oh, hey, you can call them by the character names. Like, hey, can I take a picture with you? They're more than happy to do it, which I didn't know until I started seeing it, and I was like, we can do that?
Right.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just like, the cosplay vendor. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, that was another thing that I learned.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's an acceptable thing.
Also,
Mm.
if you're going to do like, don't think you have to get like a major costume or anything like that. I think for me, like the cosplays that stood out to me were the ones that are just like so off, like the one off things. Like it was probably in one episode of one show and then it never came back. But then
Yeah.
somebody like
Yeah.
somebody was just saw that and it made such an impact. They're like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna dress up as this.
Yeah.
Like today, there was a kid who just had the Los Pollos Hermanos from Breaking Bad. He just had the employee outfit on,
Right.
um, walking around with a tray. It had some
Yeah.
chicken wings on it
Yeah.
and things. And I was just like, oh my God, like, bro, I gotta. He's like, do you want to get a picture? It's like, absolutely, man. And so he's sitting there and it clicks in my head because John Carlos is there. And I'm just like, oh
Right.
man, Gus is
Yeah.
from the show. He's like,
Right.
did he sign you? And he moves the tray and he has the signature on his apron from Los Boys from I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. So we take the picture and then like the little added bonus is like he takes the business card out, like, we're always hiring. And it's the oh my gosh, like the thought that he put into that. Because most
Yeah.
people be like, I want to go as Walt White, Gus, like one of the major
Right.
characters. And he's just like, I'm gonna go as the cashier that was at he didn't have a major part in the thing. He's just like the ones who get it.
Yeah. And you can literally do anything that you want.
Anything.
Anything that you want. Yeah. It's funny when you saw that guy. I was like, you trying to get some chicken wings? Like, what are you doing,
Yeah.
Willie? Like,
He's
he's
like, well,
holding
who is that? What was
you're like,
that?
you're
Yeah.
like, he like literally like
Right.
walking around with food, and Willie's like, oh yeah, and I realized we're like taking a picture, and I was
Right.
like, they're cosplay. Who
Yeah.
is that? Because I've never
Yeah.
watched Breaking Bad, so I was like, why are you taking a picture with like some person that's trying to enjoy their meal, Willie? I'm like,
Right.
why are you being weird? I was a little lost, just a
No,
little
it
bit.
was just that level of thought, just people put in. Another one I saw is like, I don't know, Powerpuff Girls episodes. There were some people that were trying to frame the Powerpuff Girls. It was like a bunch of crooks and they just like 6 foot tall, like buff dudes with tattoos.
Yeah,
And all they did was like put big mask on
yeah,
and just like dresses and were running around robbing banks. People were like, the Powerpuff Girls are bad. And it was just one episode, like they weren't recurring characters. And like we're going up the escalator and I see coming down like somebody with the same mask and
right.
like the tattoos and something
Yeah.
like, oh, that's so like that hits. I'm just like, man, dude, like not a whole lot of people get it, but I'm assuming they know that when they put the costume together. So
Right.
when the people that do get it see it, like, yo, they're just like, it was worth it,
Yeah. Yeah, and just to like pick like such like obscure like characters too. Like there's gonna be somebody. There's gonna be somebody that recognizes
Yeah.
it. So yeah. We'll be leaving tomorrow morning and got some packing and stuff to do. But
Ugh.
I know.
Ugh.
I know. I know. But anybody watching this that helped us out on our trip, we greatly appreciate you. Thank you everyone for watching our videos and everything that we did and supporting us,
Mhm.
through Facebook and other social media platforms. I truly deeply appreciate it. Thank you.
Mhm.
But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. You got any last thoughts?
Nope. So we're not affiliated with them, but the folks at Comic Care are real dope. Welcome us in, kind of gave us like a little home base to just kind of chill at,
Yeah,
as
we
we're
totally
walking through.
did.
Yeah, that was like a little home base. Laughing Moon again, like I said, we're not partnered or nothing with them, just the vibes we get from the people who are a part of those organizations, or those entities.
Hmm.
Um, Very dope people. And they extended opportunities and invitations to kind of learn a little bit more about them. And then of course our guy Jared, who was very helpful. And
Hmm.
he was just hanging around like, what are you doing? I'm just hanging around following you guys. Like, he took time out of his con to just follow us
You did. I was like,
and
all right,
Jedi
let's
around.
go.
Like, all right, yeah, let's walk
Let's
around
walk around, dude.
and all that stuff. So those are kind of like the big three. Obviously Jedi, who has his pulse on everything nerd here in the
Hmm.
state of Arizona. So um, those big four. Appreciate you guys making this weekend
Yes, thank you.
as awesome as it was. And the interviews that we'll post to those individuals, we'll make sure we get their names out there, social medias, all that stuff, so you can support them and see what they got to offer as well. So awesome trip, great host, welcomed us like we've been here the whole time.
Yep. So grateful. All right. Until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.
Oh, you did it too fast. I wasn't ready.